welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll see how to use SingleStore on Google Cloud. In this lab we will deploy SingleStore DB and combine it with Google Cloud's native products like PubSub, Dataflow and Cloud Storage. So here first we will deploy the SingleStore DB through our local browser and then create the appropriate schema. Later we will use PubSub to push the data to cloud storage in real time with the help of the data flow. And the data generated and stored in object storage is consumed using SingleStore DB's native pipeline. Once a SingleStore DB has ingested the data, we can run queries and interact with the SingleStore. In this lab, we will be learning how to log in and navigate to the Google Cloud, how to create a SingleStore DB instance or cluster, and using Cloud Shell we will be connecting and creating a schema on SingleStore DB. We'll also make use of PubSub topic and subscription, and we'll see how to pull and push data to other services. Later we will also create a data flow streaming job, and using SingleStore native pipeline we will load data from object storage. Finally we will run queries and interact with the data in SingleStore. So let's start the lab. This lab costs 7 credits. So let's proceed with task 1. In task 1 we will be launching SingleStore cluster. So we need to log into Google Cloud in incognito window. For that you can click here and open link in private mode. Here you need to log in with a student username. Copy the password. So next we need to log into the SingleStore portal. So in another tab we need to open the SingleStore portal. Open link in private mode window. So it will open the SingleStore portal. Copy this username. Here for sign in you need to select Google. Use another account and provide that username which you copied. Click next and copy this password. Click on I agree to the privacy notice. So here you will get this page. Here you need to click on explore on my own. So you will be brought into the SingleStore page. Here you need to click on new deployment. So workspace group name should be workshop. So copy this here, provide that name here. So here you can see we are creating a workspace. It's a standard workspace group name. It should be workshop. Cloud provider select GCP and region should be US East for North Virginia. So it should look like this. So region it is US East for North Virginia. Click next and you can click on create workspace. So now the workspace is getting created. Now it's created. So we have created the workspace now. Next we will connect to SingleStore. Let's go back to console here. Activate Cloud Shell. Click on continue. Let's open this in new window. So we are opening the Cloud Shell. Click on continue. So let's clone this repository. It contains the code. First we'll clone the repository, then we will cd to this repository. So copy this. So here you can see all the files here when you do ls. So once done, Let's go to SingleStore here. Here, this is the workspace. Here, click on this drop down and select CLI client. Once you select that CLI client, it will generate a password. This is important. You copy this into a notepad and keep it because we will be using this password in later task. Click on continue. Copy this. Go back to Cloud Shell. Here you need to execute this. So now we are connected to MySQL. Next in task 3 we will be creating schema and interacting with the SingleStore. So in this task we will be building the table schemas. Next we need to create a new database by the name NYC Taxi. So this is the database name. So we need to create a database with the NYC Taxi and also the table. So let's copy this command. Let's execute it here. So you should get this output, tables in NYC Taxi. So in this database, whatever tables it is there, it is showing that. So we have created the schema and database tables. Next we need to execute this command, select from average cost limit 5. So let's copy this. So it's an empty set because this is an empty table. Since the table is empty, we got empty set. So we have just created a SingleStore database and we had connected to it, and the table is empty because we have not loaded any data into the table. So this is optional. You can check out the data in lab. The table is empty and we will be loading data to the table. That data is NYC taxi data, and this taxi data can be found in BigQuery's public data set. So if we go back to console here, you can click on BigQuery. So this is a project. So here you can click on view dataset. You can click on view dataset. So here you can find all the data inside this. So that data you can check out. This is optional. They have already uploaded this data into cloud storage bucket. So we will be making use of that. Here you find a set of commands. First it will create a storage bucket in location US West 1. Then it will copy from this path to our cloud storage bucket. So these are the files. So drivers, trips, neighborhoods.csv, all this file gets copied to our storage bucket. So let's copy this and in a cloud shell. So let's open new tab. Here let's execute that. Click on authorize. So now you can see it's creating a bucket. So when you pass this variable Google Cloud Project, it will take the name of the project. It's basically a project ID. So it will create a bucket with that name. And now you can see it's copying all the files into our storage bucket. So now it's completed. Click on navigation menu, click on cloud storage, click on buckets here. So here you can see there are two buckets. This is the one. You can click on this. So inside that you can find these files, drivers, neighborhoods.csv and the trips. So all this folder we just copied it. So here you can see one more bucket. So this is the staging bucket for storing the temp files for a data flow job. So once that is done, you can click on check my progress. This should be complete now. We have created a cloud storage bucket. Now let's proceed with task 6, PubSub and data flow. So PubSub and data flow resources have been pre-populated in our project. So they have already created this pub-sub topic by the name taxi and subscription. So when we create this topic, subscription automatically get created, and it's get added to the topic. And they also have this data flow job. So in this lab they have already provisioned it for us. So let's verify that. So if we go back to console here, we can search here with this name pub-sub. So click on this. So pub-sub is a messaging service. So under topic it is listing this is a topic which is already created, and this will also have the subscription. There is a subscription added to this topic. And let's verify data flow job as well. So you just have to type data flow, select the first one, or you can select the jobs as well. It will take you to the page. So here you can see there is one job and it is in failed state. This red means it is in a failed state, and in under status you can find it is failed. Click on that job. Here click on clone. So let's rename this job to GCS to PS1 and click on run job. We are just cloning it and renaming the job. So when we are cloning this, we are just renaming that job. So here we can go back. See, now it is streaming, it is starting, the status is starting. Let's refresh this page. So now it's running. So what we do is we'll go to, so in a new tab I am opening that pub-sub topic. Click on this topic. Under subscription you find this, so click on this subscription. We should find some messages here. Here click on messages. So we have started the job, right? So we should have some messages here populated. So once you click on that pull, it will start rolling in the messages. So let's wait for a few more minutes. So now you can see the messages are getting pulled. So you have to ensure that you are under messages. You click on this pull, then it will pull the messages. So now we have simulated the live data streaming, and we can click on check my progress. If you want to upload more data to GCS and pull in pub-sub, then data flow will be moving the live data. So you can also try that one, uploading more data to GCS. So now let's proceed with task 7, setting up a streaming architecture on Google Cloud. So we are under data flow here. Let's click on create job from template. Now we'll be making use of template to run this job, and the job name will be PS. So copy this job name. Regional endpoint will be US West 1, and data flow template, you need to click on this drop down. So this is a template you need to use. So copy this template name and you can type it here. So it will show the template. Select this. So this is pub-sub subscription or topic to text files on cloud storage. So click on OK, and under target you need to click on browse and select the first bucket. Next scroll down. Here under pub-sub input subscription, click on this drop down and select this taxi sub, that's a subscription name. Other fields you can leave it as is, only these values are important. So you can click on run job now. Click on run job. So this graph is still being analyzed. So you can go back here. So you can see it is in queued state. It's being analyzed. So let's refresh this. So it will take few minutes for this to start running. So it will take around 5 to 7 minutes for data flow job to start streaming, because it has to read the messages and pub-sub and stream them into the cloud storage bucket. So now you can see it is streaming this job is in running state. So what we can do is we can go to our cloud storage bucket. So this is the storage bucket which we created earlier. Now we should have this output file. See, there are many output files which got generated. Before we had only 4 files: drivers, neighborhood.csv and trips. Now we have these output files which got generated. That is because of the data flow job. So let's click on one of the output file here. Click on this authenticated URL. So now it is showing all the driver names and the details. So this way you can verify it. Now you can click on check my progress. This should be complete. So next we will connect cloud storage to SingleStore. We need to create a key to connect this private cloud storage bucket to SingleStore. So to do that, let's close this. Go back to cloud storage. So here click on the settings here. So here you need to click on interoperability. At the bottom you see this create a key. Click on create a key. So now the key is created. So next we need to ingest data into SingleStore with pipelines and start a stored procedure. Let's go to Cloud Shell here. Here let's click on open editor. You can click on open folder. So you need to open this file, this create nyc taxi pipelines.tm. So here we need to update the bucket name. For bucket name, so you can copy this project ID. We had created storage bucket with the project ID name only. So here next under line 5 we need to update the credential. Here need to update the access ID. So this is the access ID. Copy this, update it here, and the secret key will be this. Copy this, update it here. Similarly here as well on line number 12 we need to update our bucket name. So that bucket name I will copy it from line number 4, update it. In line number 13 as well we need to update the access ID and access key. So I'll copy this, the secret key as well. So it remains the same. It's a storage bucket, access ID and a secret key. Next on line number 22 we need to update this storage bucket name. Let me copy this, update it here. Here it's TSV, right? We need to change it to CSV. On line number 23 again we need to update the access ID and the secret key. So let's copy this. So here under line number 26 we need to change fields terminated by \t, it is there, right? So this we need to change it to comma. So this way you need to update. You can do Ctrl S and save this. You can save this file and close the editor and open the terminal here. So we had already connected to SingleStore using MySQL in another Cloud Shell terminal. Next we need to execute this MySQL command. So in MySQL prompt we need to execute this command to create the pipeline. So here the source is this create nyc taxi pipelines.dml file. So there we have updated the configuration. Now we will be executing this command so that it creates a pipeline. So let's copy this. So here I am still in MySQL. So I have connected to SingleStore. Here I need to execute that command. So let's go back to SingleStore here. You can resume this. Click on resume. See, the workspace is not in connected mode. That's why we are unable to connect to that workspace. You should ensure that this workspace is in active state. So you have to ensure that you are inside this path, SingleStore GCP Looker Dev Day section B. You have to be inside this path. So you need to click on connect, click on CLI client. So now we have connected to MySQL. Next we need to create the pipeline. So we need to execute this command source create nyc taxi pipeline.dml. Using this it will create a pipeline. Let's copy this and execute it here. So now you can see when we execute the show pipeline it will list this. So once done, so you should get this output. Next let's start this pipeline by executing this command. So here we are running this start. Copy this. Now it started. So before it was in stop state, you can see. Now after executing that command you can see the status is changed to running. Next we'll run the operational analytic queries by executing these commands. Select from trips, drivers, neighborhoods. So let's copy this, execute it here. So you should get this output. So from trips you will get this table details, and it's limiting to only 5 entry here. From drivers you can find the driver names and the details of that, and from neighborhood you find these details. Then let's run this source total trips.sql. So 96 rows in set. You should get this output. Next let's run the average weight.sql. So to calculate the total number of trips for each neighborhood, we need to execute this total trips.sql. So when we executed this, we got this 96 rows inside, which means 96 trip. And when we executed source average weight.sql, we got this 3.19. So that's the average amount of time between someone requesting a ride and that person being picked up. Next let's run the average distance of a trip by executing this command source average distance.sql. So let's copy this. So under value you can find it's 2.20. So that's the average distance of a trip. Next, to calculate the average amount of time between someone being picked up and that person being dropped off, we can execute this source average time.sql. So the value is 7.30. So that's the average amount of time between someone being picked up and that person being dropped off. Next, the average cost of the trip. So it's 17.89. That's the average cost. Now let's see the average amount of time it takes from the time a driver accepts a ride to the time they pick up the passenger. So that's the wait time. So for that we need to execute this command. Let's copy this and execute it. So it's 3.18. Next, finally, we will check the average number of riders per trip by executing this source average number of riders.sql. Let's copy this. So that's how we run the operational analytic queries on SQL. So once you complete all the tasks in this lab, you can click on End Lab. So in this lab, we have deployed SingleStore DB and we had combined it with the cloud native products like PubSub, Dataflow and cloud storage. So we made use of all these services in this lab, and we also used SingleStore DB's native pipeline to ingest data from cloud storage and run the operational analytic queries. Those are the activities which we performed in this lab. So once you complete all the tasks in this lab, you can click on End Lab. If you face any issues or difficulties in any of this task, or if you have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section. I'll be happy to help. If you found my video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel and stay up to date with the latest content on this channel. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video.